Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Wednesday, January 13th, 2021, a day that is shaping up to be a relatively historic day. But regardless of all of those outside events that may be happening today, we are here to play video games. Today is very likely going to be the last stream. Sharp dryness of my throat suddenly. Today is very likely going to be the last day of the Satisfactory playthrough. Even though we have not gone through all of the additional stuff like aluminium refining and all of the nuclear refining and all of that wonderful stuff, no supercomputers, no next tier on the space elevator. The reason being, I am not all that enthusiastic with this game right now. And we will talk more about that during the course of today's stream, where I will be fixing our power issue and doing whatever I don't even know right now. We're going to be just randomly wandering randomly, I guess, exploring, maybe getting hard drives. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do over the course of the day today outside of fix power. We could just keep working on the progression, getting into those engines that we need, but otherwise, Well, first off, last time we met, I ran out of power after having completed the... After I completed all of the logistics for these adaptive control units over here. Glorious adaptive control units. They're very, very adaptive. I'm thinking that I'm going to remove this power line. And by removing that power line, I now have power again to all of the rest of the stuff, and no power to this entire build that I have here. Ta-da. Ta-dee, ta-doo, ta-dum. I could... add in a generator. This is coal. Oh. See, with everything stopped last time, I got it wrong. Again. As we usually do. This is coal for steel. I was trying to actually use this stuff being output from here. Petroleum coke. However, I don't know if it actually makes quite enough petroleum coke for general use. Because right now it's just getting voided in our awesome sink, which has apparently 12 coupons available for it. I will delete all of that there as well. Regardless, I need more power. More power. More glorious, wonderful power. How am I gonna do that? Exactly. How much oil? Ah, oil. I have one oil refinery, well, oil derrick, I should say, all the way down on the ground, that's currently not doing anything. Uh-oh, I almost flung myself off the edge. Thank you, physics. Thank you so very much, physics. So, while we're going down and having a look at everything about the place, I want to start off by saying that it is not lost on me that I've spent a significant amount of time complaining during these live streams about various issues I have with this game. It is so much so that it is definitely to the detriment of the quality of the overall stream. And if that's going to be how it's going to be, with how my true thoughts are with this game, then I really shouldn't be continuing to play this game, frankly. If there's so much that I spend a lot of time, a very significant amount of my time, complaining about the tedium of the building mechanics in this game, primarily, as well as the various little glitches with snapping and grid lines not actually behaving as I expect them to behave, and just building in general. Just the entirety of the basis of this game, everything this game is based around is, building things. If the actual mechanic to build things is tedious and not fun in any way, shape, or form, I'm not going to be enjoying this game. Like, frankly, the overall experience is marred by the inherent weakness of being able to build in 3 dimensions. The entire thing is just, I don't like it. I don't like how you build things in this game by default. It is way too stupidly tedious. Stupidly tedious. And just the scale of the 3-dimensional models, of all these models, of all these buildings, of all the belt and all the stuff on the belt and all of the pipes, it's too freaking big inherently. Everything in this game needs to be scaled down by at least 25%. Just across the board, everything needs to be scaled down by at least 25%. It's way, way too big. It makes it way too difficult to get proper placement of any of these buildings. It's terrible. It is terrible. It is a very, very bad state for this game, and I cannot bring myself to fake enjoyment for this game while I'm trying to play it and enjoy it in front of people and present it as an experience that's worth people's time and money. I can't. I thank the person who gifted me this game, Mr. Megalom. Thank you so much for gifting me a copy of this game. I am so sorry that I really don't think that this game is worth spending money on in its current state. It's not even a complete experience. You can't even win in this game. There is no win state right now. Unlike Factorio, which released, yes, but during its experimental period, you could at least launch a rocket and finish the game. You could finish the game by launching a rocket. This feels very much like an incomplete experience, as it is. It is an incomplete experience. That's why it's in early access, but it's too incomplete. And it's just looking at how the developers have been spending their time and development time on this game. They keep adding features like fluid mechanics, like these pipes, when it would be better to actually have a win state for your game before you start adding features to your game. I very much feel like the developers have been mishandling their use of their time when it should be spent on actually creating a complete experience and then adding on these extra things. I'd rather be able to win the game, and then as time goes on, you can add additional things to extend that time that it takes to win the game. Like, say, after I do a specific thing with Space Elevator, once I hit a specific tier level, you're done. Hey, you've won. Congratulations. Now you can do whatever you want. Just a screen that says you have won. Congratulations. And you can change the conditions at which you get this state that says you won as you add more features. Just a thing that says that you completed the game does not exist in the current state of the game, and it's frustrating. It does not give you a goal to meet, and that is one of my inherent problems with this game. It does not give you a goal at all, and my brain, the way my brain works is, I need a goal. I need a reason to spend my time doing something. A reason. Any reason. Doesn't matter. I need a reason that I have not defined myself. I need a reason. And in the current state, once you do the things, you get zero reward. Zero reward. You can get a golden nut statue. Whew. Yippee. I can buy a statue out of literally destroying everything that I've spent my hard-earned time and effort to make. Yay. What wonderful design decisions you've had for this game. What wonderful design. So nice and beautiful on the design of the art, all the time that was spent on the art rather than actually making a game. Frankly, they spent all the time building the models and drawing the art for the models and making it so that you can change the color of all the models and the various like yellow spots on them, and not any time actually making a game. Yeah, it's disappointing. It is very, very, very disappointing that is the state of the game right now. I wish it was not this state of the game right now, but we are here. I need to build a refinery, at least one, or a set of refineries. Shall I do it elevated? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I just need to make additional power. You are going to do... Oh, you make freaking resin too. You're gonna do that. You consume how much? 30. To make 40. You there. And you're making the fuel out of the residual. You will consume 60 to make 40. Great. Great. Wonderful. Thanks for all that. So, how many thingies will I need for all the stuff? Thank you, YouTube, for telling me that I am, in fact, live on this day. Thank you so very much for telling me that I am, in fact, live. So, those are my honest opinions thus far about the game. I'm sure as we go through, I will think of more that I can continue to complain about. I don't see this being an experience I want to continue to stream at the very least. Will I play it when not streaming? Maybe. My time right now is very much occupied by other games, specifically Genshin Impact, but I may play this off stream. I may get to the next tech level, but I do not enjoy the building experience in this game, which the entire game is based around. And if I don't enjoy that, there's really just little point in continuing to stream this game, because it is very apparent that I've not been enjoying this experience. Very apparent. I need to elevate this. I need to elevate this. Hey. You. I need a doohickey. There is a button. Which one was it? It's not P, it's... What is it? What is it? You don't tell me the hotkeys on this menu. Huh? Weird? Why do you not show me the hotkeys on this menu? Interesting. Hold. So shift and mouse wheel does a thing, apparently. P is spacing L K T. T is the slide. R F G C V. No, not V, apparently. Hold. E, that's the one. E is the one. The only, but that's not... That's in increments of 1 meter, I'm pretty sure. No, that is in increments of ½ meter. So I need to make sure that it is a number divisible by 16. Because 16 is going to be... Oh god. That does not look like 8. Does that look like another square can be drawn on that? Huh. I don't know. I think I've pretty much stopped caring at this point. You get to build there. Sure. And that will be my platform that I do stuff with. Is it over 10 meters up? I don't even know. 9. You. Hold. Do that. Now I have a way up. Yay. Now we can build out our platform here. somewhat like so. How much more? One short. Alright. There. We have some space. We now have some space. Over here, I want a wall. I have learned a lot about how to do stuff in this game and how to deal with the building mechanics of this game. It's just I wish that they weren't as buggy as they are, as well as not as tedious as they are, because I've found them to be quite tedious. That, I think, is exactly what I want. Actually, no. See, what you do with vertical mode is that, yeah, that is what I want. I want to be able to walk on the ground. So having that extended out like that is precisely how I wanted it. Okay. And you do 150 per minute, yes? Yes. Half a pipe. I know it looks like I'm not using all that much power here, but this new build for the adaptive control units trips the power. It trips it. I have this huge build up there that's doing one adaptive control unit per minute, up to when everything is spun up. Now, the question is that 10? I'm assuming not. I'm assuming I have enough head lift here. 10 or 20 or whatever. It should tell me how much is left if I look at the building. No. Of course not. Of course it tells me nothing about how much lift is left when I look at a pipe segment. There's another thing to add to the list. Fluid mechanics don't tell you any useful information on this. It at least tells you a numerical value of flow rate. What it does not tell you is that a pipe that it needs to be filled up completely before it goes to the next segment. Like, I've had it where a segment has had stuff in it, another segment horizontally has not had anything in it until the previous segment completely filled. Like, that doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't seem right. That it will only allow a thing to flow when it has a filled segment? Huh? Little weird. Little weird. Alright, you're gonna go... How wide did I make this? 8. There we go. More. I need refineries. It is not lost upon me that this is going to use a lot of stuffs. I'm actually going to move this here. Not there, though. There. Is that what I want? No. Is that? No. Come on, buddy. There. No. There. Yes. That is the spacing. And of course, that was stupid tedious. stupid levels of tedious. And then I felt very compelled to use the smart mod. Apparently that actually is allowed to clip. Apparently that is allowed to clip. For whatever reason. These can process 30? So I need that many? My god, that's a lot of power. So yeah, these process 30. 30 times 5, that's 150. That's all of the output of this particular oil well. I would have preferred having, instead of 5 of these, having 25 of these? Or something like that, something along those lines, or 50 of these, shall we say, 50 of these, and going all the way down to 10% clock speed. The reason for that is it improves the power efficiency per unit output, the lower on the clock speed you go. It's just resources. Resources! So many resources. Even 50% might be good as well on these. So if I can grab more concrete and build out another 5, I will. So there is concrete there. Do I climb up? I think so. Let's get some more. Let's get some concrete. Build out the doohickey. Do I have enough stuff for another 5? I'll need some encased beams, and then I also need to consider how many refineries it's going to take to produce residual fuel out of the amount of heavy oil residuals that this is going to make, because each one, so 5 times 40 is 200. These process 60, so I need 4 of these buildings producing residual oil. So I would need 9 refineries to do what I want. At minimum. So I need more motors regardless. No matter what, I have to actually go all the way back to get motors. So that's what I'll do. We'll take this route because I happen to be here right now. I should do a hyperloop. What does that need? Hold up. What does hyper tubes need? Jack all? They need a total of jack and or all. Okay. While I'm here, let's make it so I can actually go back and forth between these locations a little bit more easily. Should have done this a long time ago, I guess. I'll likely need more iron plates for the support structures. So that will be the first thing that I grab, is some extra iron plates for supports. It also needs power, because of course it needs power. Let's go all the way over here. I should have a doohickey set up with iron plates production. This is also concrete, so I can grab concrete, all this mess of stuffs. Ah, do you like belt getty? I like belt getty. There's lots and lots of belt getty going on in here. It is at least semi-organized in this overall setup, all to produce adaptive control units. I need to go over here and under. And then I suppose the entrance will be on a... so how do I do this? Hold up. I want you elevated, but you just build. So there's a hypertube support. Okay. Can I just stick the entrance onto you? Yes. So how does that work? I don't know. And how tightly can I turn these? You know, game, it would be nice if I had the grid lines to show me the alignment for this, but no grid lines. None. None whatsoever. To give me an idea of what the alignment should be. Of course. Okay, so the answer... Current build mode noodle? There is a noodle build mode? There's a noodle build mode to literally build pipe getty. We are absolutely going to be using our noodle build mode. I'm going to assume that the step is going to be 7 on these. But I'm going to align there. Oh, that's a lot of steel pipe. Oh, boy. Hey. Steel pipe. I need a little bit of steel pipe. Thank you kindly. As we build this out. Gee, I wonder how much time this is gonna save over the course of a playthrough that's ending today. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Final stream of this game, because if you watch the DVR part of it, not enough viewers is part of the decision. That's part of it, but I've just not been enjoying the experience of this game. The building is tedious and unenjoyable to me. It's become very plainly obvious in my presentation of this game that I've not been enjoying the experience, so I'm not going to keep playing it for infinity through the end of this playthrough. not going to force myself to finish, quote unquote, this experience that isn't even finished. Like, there is no win state for this game. I need more iron rods. Are you kidding? Alright. There isn't even a screen that says that you have won. Like, excuse me? You've done all of this stuff with, like, pipes and fluid mechanics, and you've not spent any effort making an actual game? What the... Huh? I thought I... Ah! It sucks. Yes, there is nighttime. There is a day-night cycle in Satisfactory. I have... Especially after building this build in the last stream. Last stream was 3 hours of placing belt. That was last stream. In its entirety. 3 hours of placing belts and lifts. And it's incredibly painful. Physical pain was felt for me doing all of this belt. 3 hours doing this build that gives me 1 adaptive control unit per minute. Per minute. 1 adaptive control unit. So, I say, after experiencing this build, and after having previously spent a 3-hour stream placing all of these buildings with the help of a mod, placing all of these buildings on the bottom and on the top above here, yes, per minute, 1 per minute, not even per second. This game operates in a per minute timescale. It's awful. You cannot automate the building of things right now. And I can't get past that. Because the game is so tedious on its inherent 3-dimensional building mechanics, and the scale is so bad, like, there is no universe where a building needs to be this big. There is 0 point to this building being this tall, or that building being seen from space. It's so big. The manufacturer. And the manufacturer is only that big because the belts are this big. And they need a specific size. And they need a specific size on the input port on their machines. So the machines have to be a specific size to take stuff in on the thing. I think that everything in this game needs to be downsized by at least 25%, if not more. And yes, everything can be... They spent their time developing a system where you could actually color your buildings, and not on actually adding an end screen to the game. Apparently I have 4,000 drop frames as well, by the way. Yes, everything is orange, but there is a system called the color gun that I have not bothered to even unlock at this point, where you can actually pick the color, whatever color you want, to paint all your stuff to whatever color scheme you want. I think you can pick a primary and a secondary color on all of the things, but you have to manually click on every single object that you want to change. It is a manual process on every object in the game. So what happens if I go into this to get to the end And, does this just shoot me like a cannon out the end? Am I shot like a... Yes, I am. But not like forever. Okay. And is this one way only? It better not be one way only. This is why people use mods like area actions to cheat. This is why people use mods like area actions to build stuff without having a cost associated with it. And to copy paste entire builds for free. They build it once and they're done and that's it. You can just copy paste it as many times as you want. But the game doesn't have a copy paste system. Not by default. You have to add that with a mod. There's no blueprinting, there's no any of that. And by the way, this whole thing, I'm supposed to have this green line in the exact middle of the thing. It's not there. I should have a green grid line to show me the alignment on these stacker poles. And, yeah, it's not there. You need the green grid line in order to hold the control button so that it actually snaps to the green grid line. So you don't accidentally move off of the green grid line, the majestic green grid line. At least in Factorio, they have the ability to blueprint stuff, the ability to automate the building of buildings. You don't have that in Satisfactory. It's not a very satisfactory experience, overall, in my humble opinion. Humblest of humble. I can't bring myself to enjoy the overall experience. It has aspects that I enjoy. Like, I enjoy how they've implemented an enemy mechanic into this game. I think the enemy mechanic is fine. It works. It works out. There's enemies guarding resources. You kill the enemies to tap into the resources. They don't respawn if you've placed buildings that are powered within a specific radius of the spawner points of the enemies. Like, that's great! That's fantastic! The game is also designed around the concept of fully saturating belt lines. I apparently need more copper sheets and pipe. Also, we're totally using a build mode called Noodle. In case you hadn't noticed, we are totally in noodle build mode right now. We are noodled. How many down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, that's too much. That's too much. How am I gonna do this? Let's see. Well, this is dumb. I don't have enough iron anymore. Yay. We're gonna get iron, plate, we're gonna get other stuff. There's no point for me doing this Hyperloop thing. I'm just doing it because I wanted to. Really. It needs to get extended all the way down to here, to the base over there, that way. Just to have a thing I can hop into and quickly get back and forth from this build that I should have done in the first place. Would have made getting back when I died last time a little bit faster than taking the card. So did I finish the game? I have not. I am an entire tech tier, under where the current maximum state of the game is. There's a whole nother level of technologies, two technically levels of technologies, but If I'm not enjoying the experience, why would I even bother? The overall building experience, if I can't present it to you enthusiastically, I'm at least not going to be streaming it going forward. But yes, there is a so the whole point of getting adaptive control units, we need 100. Bear in mind, if my factory is working, it would take 100 minutes of sitting around to get enough of these. I don't have modular engines. I could build them. I don't have them. I would have to make a build for them. A new build for them, and a new build for versatile frameworks for the 2,500 and the 500 that I need to launch this to unlock Tier 7, which exists, and Tier 8 does not exist yet. Tier 7 and 8, only 7 exists, 8 does not. Do I know what I'm going to stream in this time slot? I've undecided. And oxygen not included is a death sentence for all involved. I own it. That's about all I can say about oxygen not included. I own it. The problem is I have to, like, actually learn about gas densities to play that game. Yeah. Why is it a death sentence? Because everything is going to die really fast. Everything in that game, I'll lose very quickly. Very quickly I'll lose. And I'll be like, well, that's the end of that experience. Because that's been my experiences with Oxygen Not Included, is you start, you play, you die, you start over, you play, you die, you start over, you play, you die, you start over. And it's just a constant cycle of death and destruction. I need copper sheets and steel pipe-ish, because why not? Yeah, start slowly, and then you run out of all your food and resources. Unless they've managed to add enough stuff into the game where you can actually automate stuff, like have perpetual survival. I don't like being on a arbitrary time limit like that. That's my biggest problem with Oxygen Not Included, is that you are put onto a time limit to complete the game. Or at least to advance forward to continue your survival in the game. I don't like a time limit. It's as simple as that. I hate time limits. I hate time limits. Gee, I wonder if I got There Is No Spoon. Hey, can I actually look at all achievements from this window on, like, other games? Does that actually... Huh? Why? There used to be achievements on this screen. What? That should say 60 right now. Huh. Since when does this not have the achievements, at least for this game, on it? Oh, right, this game doesn't have achievements. Right. This game does not have achievements, so you can't even access that page. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have There Is No Spoon. I have completed my 1.1 vanilla playthrough. It is done. You'll get to see that. You'll get to see my mistake, I think. If not in this most recent episode, but in the next one, before the end. I made a very, very bad math error. But I don't think it ultimately mattered because I didn't have the scale of production I needed. Because I've put some thought behind this. Because I had pollution enabled. Of all things for me to blame, I'm going to blame the fact that I had pollution enabled, which made me conscious of pollution spread, combined with the fact that I didn't have a lot of forest. I turned the trees setting down on that map. It's like, oh, we're gonna have a challenge. Oh boy, it's a challenge. I did manage to do. I think it was like 15 minutes over the 8 hours, so it actually came pretty close. It's just those dang blue circuits, man. Those blue circuits are a killer. Absolute killers. I needed more scale of production that I really couldn't do well without having to set up a proper base defense, because there's no freaking way I was going to go out and kill all of the bases ever around my base. I killed a lot of biters, but I couldn't bring myself to the tedium of doing it even more, or setting up actual proper defenses to keep them away. Especially since I also decided, hey, let's have evolution on for destruction at a very low level, so that as you kill the biters, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. None of these things are a thing that you need to do to have on when attempting to do There Is No Spoon. It's very, very, very simple to do if you do not have pollution on, and if you do not have evolution on. You can turn those settings completely off, and it's fine. I did, however, get a number of achievements. If you go to my Steam page, you can see I got 4 achievements, all at the same moment in time as soon as I launched that rocket. So at least those are done. Don't have to worry about those anymore, either. Oh yeah, another problem. I didn't actually use robots, like at all. That was a bit of a mistake. Higher? You know what would be nice is an alignment indicator. I'm pretty sure that's aligned. That looks straight to me. Oh, God. So... as dumb as this is, we're not done yet. You probably can't reach to here. Oh my God, what? Ha! So that's what Noodle does. Okay. Okay. You win. Yes. That's what Noodle does. It literally curves the corners to be concave slides. It makes the corners slides. I think I prefer this though. Just sudden drop. Just a sudden dip. Like that. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do I have to count to 7? Like, seriously, I shouldn't have to count to 7, right? That shouldn't be a thing I should feel forced to do. At least these stacker poles are set up in such a way that you can integrate pipe stuff in them. That is a good design decision. That is a good design decision. You can put an interweave on your stacked poles, the different types of stuff. They all stack on each other. That's good. That's good. However, if I'm trying to build at max distance, I should have some sort of an indicator that tells me what the max distance is, or some sort of snapping to the max distance on the building of these things. Right? It should snap to max distance without having to count to 7. That's... yeah. There's so much improvement that needs to be made with this game. It feels like it's a lot earlier in development than it really should be for how long it's been in early access. It's like I would have expected to have at least a screen that says you've won once you've gone through all of the launches of the doohickey. All of the space elevator stuff. But no, we're only just going to be getting a tier 8 in the next major patch to this game. I've looked at the news for this game. They've talked about some of the stuff that's going to be coming in the next iteration, next major patch, and it will include an overhaul to tier 7, as well as the introduction of tier 8. But does that mean that we finally get an end screen for launching the last rank of the space elevator? Or will there be a tier 9 and 10 before they finally decide, hey, you know what would be good? An end screen to say that you've done a thing. No, because they haven't even introduced anything involving the Mercer spheres and the summer sloops that are all about the place. They haven't even done that yet. There is apparently going to be a story to this game. An actual story. involving these items, Summer Sloop and Mercer Spheres and all that. I'm gonna have this end/start over here. And it hasn't even been worked on. Like, at all. It's still work in progress, and it's been work in progress for how long? Ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. Well, what? Again, I need the... We really need to be able to snap. Really could use that ability to snap. And then I have to pray I have enough resources to build all this pipe. Oh yeah, and this entire time, I'm not making any adaptive control units either because, well, I need power. I don't have enough power production to make the adaptive control units. It's rather frustrating. They open up as you approach them, which is neat, but because it's not a powered entrance, you can't do anything. So is it at this point I'm going to learn that I won't be able to put in another entrance over here? Or I won't be able to... Oh, you know what? Let's connect these all first. Let's make a whole connection on this tube. And we'll find out. Because my biggest concern with these tubes is, have they added in a means of checking for if someone's coming in the opposite direction, like if someone's already in the tube? Because do remember that this game is actually supposed to be a co-op experience. For whatever reason. And people have had shenanigans with co-op in this game. You can have 3 other people, I think. Total of 4 player co-op. Messing around. Doing stuff. I don't see the point. Like, if there's no, goal, there is no point. That's how my mind works, anyway. I am incapable of defining my own sets of goals. I need a predefined goal of some description. It is needed. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm wasting time. There's lots of games that are really popular that I just can't. Because they're creative games exclusively. And I don't see a point. I'm incapable of making my own fun. Look at how few resources I have left. Oh, joy. Oh, bliss. Please let me just enter from here. Oh, now we have to walk all the way back, and we can now see from this angle that is crooked. That I was, in fact, wrong. But, was I wrong by 1? Let's have a look-see. Is that straight? Looks straight to me. That looks straight to me. Excellent. I will need vertical build mode again. Ta-da! Also, the way that vertical build mode works is that, you know how that goes there from that angle? If I had started the thing from here to go up to there, you see what happens? You see how it tries to go straight out and then up? It all comes down to where you start building the pipe. It's a neat feature. Why the heck are you all the way up there? Like, I don't need that to be that tall. No, I do not need that to be that tall. Yeah, so the main question I have right now is, are hypertubes one-way only? They better not be. They better not be one-way only. I should be able to have an entrance on each end. We shall see. We shall see. If they are one-way only, oh my god, then we have to do the whole thing with double the resources. It'll be great. We get to add another layer to the shenanigans. Which is a little problematic, the way that I've built the thing. Slightly, that makes that that whole verticality change really, really annoying to do elegantly. Alright, over here for the copper sheets. Gee, I was supposed to have picked up motors. Did I ever actually pick up the motors? No. I was supposed to have picked up the motors while I was here the first time. Instead, I picked up copper sheets and steel pipe so that I could keep building this hyperloop that was like supposed to be the side project, because right now what I'm working on is converting oil into power through fuel, converting oil into heavy oil residuals, and then converting that into fuel, and then burning all the fuel in power plants. And the idea behind all of this was that I would operate the refineries at 50% so that I could improve the overall power efficiency of the system, because refineries use a lot of power inherently. They use tons of power. Ah, yeah. Building something like that is not exactly simple. As a for reference thing, building this is incredibly tedious for this building. This building, I swear, this manufacturer, it uses a lot of power to manufacture stuff. It's freaking huge. And getting 4 belts worth of input for 4 different items in is atrocious. Atrocious, tedious, annoying. Greatly annoying. It looks nice when you've done it right. You can make things look nice. The problem is it's incredibly tedious to do so. You thought ABX was tedious? I'd say that ABX is complex, not necessarily tediously complex. Here it's just... when you have when the step size is this small on the placement of objects, it can be really hard to maintain proper alignment. When the step size is this small on the placement of stuff on a platform, that's infinitely tedious. But on the ground, there is no stepping. It is pixel by pixel on solid surface on the placement. There is no way in hell that you can actually make perfect angles on the solid ground. None. And there's no, like, angle helping either in this game. There's no helper tools to do right angles more easily. There's nothing. There is nothing. There is a system of grid lines that's supposed to show up to show you how things align with each other. No, like, global grid line based system, but hey, you have that at least. No, I want global grid snapping. I want a global grid system. Snapping to half-meter segments on a global grid system. That's what I would like. That's what I would like, and I would like it to apply to the ground, to the surface ground, so that I can place foundations on the ground in the global grid system. That would be the most ideal of situations for me. That would be what I would like. Global grid snapping for everything. In all 3 dimensions. Just snap everything. All the snapping, all the time. Oh my god, is it done? Is it finished? It was only 2 segments left? Seriously? It's only 2 segments left? So now what we get to do is we get to find out just how this works. As I walk my way, the walk of shame, I guess, all the way to the entrance, just to ride all the way back to the beginning so I can place another entrance on this same tube and see if it works that way. My goodness. I mean, conceptually, this is fine. I like this. Being able to have a tube system for transport, just jump and off you go. Yes, it's Fixmas, and my character is absolutely wearing a Santa hat. And will be through the 18th. Off we go. We get to take in the sights as we travel pretty quickly. I don't know how fast this goes, ultimately. This would, probably make most people sick. Especially this drop right here. This one, going down. Pretty sure that the noodle build mode on this exists only so that people can make corkscrews to travel down and do like cinematic hyperloop travel. Because yes, the game is pretty. The game is very pretty. I just wish it was a game. I just wish it was a game. You know? That'd be great. It works both ways. Good. Thank God. Thank God I don't have to build another set of stuff. It will work both directions. Fantastic. Fantastic. Off you go. On the cinematic camera too. All those elevated plastic and rubber lines up top, that's all that foundation as we head up. That's plastic and rubber up there, going to the main other part of the base to make some computers out that direction. The primary source of computers, which is making like 1 per minute of computers. There's some Caterium, pure Caterium, refining into ingots that gets put onto the belt line, used to make quick wire. Because I don't have an alternate recipe for quick wire yet, primarily. And we have arrived. Yay! Remind me not to jump there. Right there. So we made it. That is a bit faster, I think, to get back to the main part of the base whenever I need more stuff. Which was the point. And now, to make more power. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a refinery. Interesting, I can actually configure the refinery from the smokestack up top. Thing is, there's a smokestack right here, and it's gonna blow smoke through this foundation. Because that's just how this game works. Did I actually pick up more foundation? Yes, I did. Glorious. I think that's going to be more than enough foundation to add another 5 of those. Aren't they pretty stupid tall for what they're supposed to be meant for? So, yes, now I can make this at half speed across the board. What I wouldn't give for a shift right click, shift left click, shift right click, shift left click ability to just, you know, paste the recipe with clock speed down an entire line of buildings instead of having to do this manually on every single building. Oops, I pushed the screenshot button. Just, there's so many little things in this game that are just off. Just off, and they all add up to just detract from the overall experience for me. It's just like, why do I have to go in each and every single one of these buildings assigning manually the clock speed and the recipe for every single one down the entire line however many times I need to do this? Why? That's boring. That's tedious. super tedious. Like, why must I do that every single time? Like, that's just wrong. Shouldn't be like that. And the actual placement, finicky as all get out. Like, I can't even imagine not having the smart mod installed. I cannot imagine. I will never be able to play this game without smart mod. In order to hold an object in place to check its positioning before placing said object. As you can see, this is off a tile. But with smart mod, I can push H and keep the entity ghost in place before I place the building so that it doesn't move. Why is this not part of the game? Why does a mod have to add this as a feature? Like, this should be default. Being able to hold an object ghost in place should be default. What should also be default is allowing a ghost object to be there and allowing me to place other ghost objects. You know, so that then you can select a bunch of objects and ghost place them. So that you can copy and paste the ghost objects. Like, this entity, this little ghost object tells me that copy and pasting can absolutely be implemented in this game. There really is no reason why copy and pasting of objects and blueprinting doesn't exist. They've already got the hardest part sorted because they have this entity. This ghosted entity. It's already a thing that exists. That they've done, that they've put effort into to have this ghosted entity. Like, why can't you use this for doing a copy-paste system or a blueprint system? If you're so intent on having us manually build everything in a game that purports to be about automating, this game is supposedly about automation. That's actually a pretty good spot for you. But I want you aligned. And I want you there. How many do I need? I think it was 9? Hold up. Residual oil. I need to process... it was 5 times 40. It was 200 units. So I needed at least 4, which means I'll need 8. And why do I have to middle mouse click? Why is middle mouse click the eyedropper tool? Like, seriously? Wait, what? Oh. I need some encased beams. I need more encased beams. Can I do a ladder? Why are you no straight? There. You be straight. Little off-kilter, but hey. Only using you to go up, not down. Need light. Need to shine some light on the situation. All this oil. All this oil refining. All these refineries are making rubber and plastic for the other part of the base. Slash, the rubber ones aren't doing much of anything because I'm not actually using rubber. I'm not actually using rubber in the other part of my base. I'll be using rubber here, I guess, with those engines that I need, but I'm not gonna play this game. I don't see the point right now. Where was I going? Encased beams. I need to go up a level. Up a level. Because I happen to be making encased beams here. The encased beams I did play Dark Souls 3 a lot. A lot. It was annoying a little bit on some of the achievements. But I played it a lot. That's what I'll say about that. It was a lot. 96 hours or so. Give me these. I don't remember much. It was a while ago. It was a while ago. I enjoyed Dark Souls 3 way more than I enjoyed any of the others. I did not particularly enjoy the other two. Like Dark Souls 1 and 2 felt more like a battle versus the control system to me than Dark Souls 3 did. Like the control methods in 3, it just felt a little bit better to me. Felt like I had more control over the actions of my character in Dark Souls 3 versus 1 and 2. And I don't know exactly how to word why it didn't feel like I had as much control in the other two. Maybe it's just a function of attacks not being able to be cancelled out of. Maybe that's a thought. Like, you push the button, you're committed. I don't like that. I don't like that in a lot of games. Like, I want, if I push a button, I want to be able to do an attack. I want to have some way of dodging during an attack. I don't want to be committed to having to go through the entire animation of the attack if I see, like, oh, actually, I need to dodge in this moment. But, yeah, it was a while ago. I haven't touched any Dark Souls-like game in a long time. I just got this at Christmas / my birthday. This one was my birthday, I think. Code Vein. So I'm saying I haven't touched a Dark Souls-like game in a while. We shall see. So I needed 8 of these. Line. Hold. It would be nice if I had these alignment indicators all the time. It's 7 because I already had 1. So that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Why do I have so much space between these? Because this produces a solid output that needs to be voided in the form of the resin. These are going to be doing this recipe. Oh gosh, one of these doesn't actually need to be at 50%. It needs to be at something else. One half of 1/3. That's not the recipe. That's the recipe. I am just going to set all these to 50% and go from there. I'll double check all these as well to make sure that I didn't push the wrong button. Again, the problem with having to manually set recipes in every single building is that you could also make mistakes by misclicking on a wrong recipe, like this one. Had a feeling there was one building. At least one building. I need more concrete. Concrete that I happen to have. Excuse me. Grab the ladder. I need to grab that ladder. I don't know if I should be thankful that Steam does not keep track of my Genshin Impact playtime, but part of me is questioning exactly what my playtime is in that game. I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Have I played Path of Exile? Like 10 to 20 minutes of it. I don't like any game that's click to move. I despise click to move games. They make my hand hurt. No, I really just don't have any desire to play any game that is click to move. If there's an option to turn off click to move, I will use it every single time. So any of those ARPG type things where you have to actually manually click on places to move and enemies to attack, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do Diablo, I can't do Path of Exile, I can't do any of those types of games. I can't do Torchlight, I can't do any of it. Absolutely none of it. I've done it in the past and have paid with hand pain on my right hand. Just like I can't really do really any game that requires me to spam left click. I can't. It hurts. Physical pain is not why I play games. I'm not gonna do it for physical pain. What am I doing? I need encased beams. Encased beam. Yes, I need encased beams, and I can't actually get them here because I already grabbed the encased beams that I have, so I have to actually go all the way back to the main part of my base to get encased beams. Let's go! Enjoy the cinematic camera! Going everywhere. What is that thing? What is that object below my character? Like, clipping through me. Two of the objects. Not. Oh, that's my Blade Runners. For whatever reason, My Blade Runners think that I'm still upright or something. They're not attached to my character right now. The Blade Runners are like clipped. Great. Great design. Great design. I need complete control over my character, not just a W to move. No. I need full WASD movement. That not having full WASD movement is a deal breaker for me. I can't do it. Or at the very least a controller. Like that's the only way I will ever be able to experience Diablo 3 would be, or 4 or whatever the new one's gonna be. And the last one is through controller. I'm not clicking. I am not clicking to move into attack. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I enjoy having a hand and a wrist. And I get very I get a little bit disappointed at times because Genshin Impact in its combat system, action combat system, occasionally I do start feeling pain in my wrist just by the attacks, the clicking to attack in that game. It's like, I don't like pain. And I have a wrist rest too, so it's not like I can do too much else to prevent pain from happening, especially when that pain happens not on the bottom of the wrist, but on the top of the wrist from the pointer finger going up and down repetitively. Not something I'm very keen on, to say the least. Now we get to take the trip all the way back and enjoy the experience and the view all the way back. And the Blade Runners are still glitchy. They're glitchy. Glorious. I wonder what happens if I load the autosave after autosaving in the middle of a hypertube. I do wonder. So let's talk about what could be after this on the off days. Let's take a little bit of time to discuss what can come after. I'm not too keen on a game that I haven't actually played at all. Like the Oxygen Not Included. I'm far more keen on something I have actually played before. I was potentially thinking of Subnautica. I was thinking of Subnautica. RTS, again, that's not exactly a great genre for me. I don't handle time constraints very well. So, think about StarCraft. A long time ago, I actually had a StarCraft 2 playthrough on my YouTube channel. On base game StarCraft 2. Ark I have not played. I know it's dinosaurs, but I haven't played it. I technically own it, I think. Didn't they give away Ark at some point on the Epic Game Store? Wasn't that a freebie on the store? I know that I've got like so many games. It's hard to keep track sometimes of what I own. I have totally had instances in the past where where I was like, "Hey, I totally don't own this game and it's on sale. I should totally buy this game." And then realize later, "Oh wait, no, don't. I do own this game through another platform actually. Don't buy this game on sale." It's just sometimes I see sales and my body responds like, "Oh hey, I was waiting for a sale like this." And then you realize, "Oh wait, but I own it." Yes. Yes, Ark was one of those things that was given for free on the Epic Games Store. Speaking of which, confession, I totally didn't remember all of the days during the holiday period to grab all of the freebies on the Epic Games Store. Totally didn't remember that it existed as a thing to do and grab all the games, and I missed grabbing the Epic copy of Jurassic World Evolution, but I own it on Steam already. So, there's that. I owned it already, and the other one that I know that I missed was, oh god, I forget the name of it. Lost in the Woods something. That game. The one that you're the cat. You're a cat. Sort of like a similar to visual novel. You have a bit of control on it. You can explore places and Night in the Woods. That's the name of it. That I remembered. Is Jurassic World Evolution is really good? It is a better version of Operation Genesis, of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. It is better overall experience. I enjoyed my time with it when I played it. I think it doesn't have that great of replay value on the main campaign. It might on some of the challenges that I have yet to do. It does have a mode for challenges. But yeah, I think it was alright. I don't own all of the content for it, which disturbs me a little bit. I'm very much a dinosaur guy. Ish. That was like the thing when asked what you wanted to do when you grow up, that was the thing that I would default respond to, even though it didn't really work out that way in the end. Was, I want to be a paleontologist. Oh, really? Oh, really? Nah. Shouldn't have ever said that. Shouldn't have ever put that on myself. I need concrete, don't I? I went and I got encased beams, and the whole point was concrete, not the encased beams. So we're going back up, and we're getting concrete. It's nice to have encased beams, because that's belt, and I like belt. Belt is awesome. I need to actually focus a little bit now to be able to get the things. I'm going to belt that plastic stuff, lift it up, and void it in there. That's the plan. I don't want to build another one of those awesome sinks. The most awesome of sinks. Yeah, Jurassic World Evolution is a pretty good game overall. Very, very enjoyable of an experience. It just doesn't have as high of replay value as some other games. It was made by the same folks who, well, it's Frontiers, so they did Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo and all of that. So it's very much that same engine of Planet Coaster type stuff, except you can build fencing. for dinosaurs. You build fencing. Sometimes I forget about story-rich games that I own, like Dragon Age series. I have not had great experience with Dragon Age. I never have had the enthusiasm for that franchise, even though I own Origins and Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age 3. I think. Hold up. I'm pretty sure about this. Origin? Hello, Origin? You are here. I am Otaku Showboat on Origin, by the way. One word. Camel-cased. Otaku Showboat. I own Origins and 2. And I thought I owned Inquisition, yes. I've got that. Apparently I own Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. Oh, right. I remember why I own that franchise now. I was given Dead Space 3 for free for buying Sim City. 2010, I think, is the year of that one. Sim City, the newest iteration, 5, technically, 5th iteration, when it released, it was in such a bad state that EA gave everyone a choice of game. They literally gave everyone their choice of game, and I picked Dead Space 3, and I decided, you know what, I probably should have the other 2 if I'm going to play 3, so I bought the other 2 and they were on sale. Yes, they successfully got me to spend money by giving me a game, but I played all 3 of those. It was interesting. I have Alice Madness Returns. Oddly enough, I think that was one of the first things that I bought on Origin. Huh. I have SimCity 4 and 3 and 2. Another one of those things where they just gave everyone the complete collection of Sims 2 for whatever reason. Wait, where's... Wait. I'm blind. I'm blind. Where's... Where is Sims 4? Did I hide it? Oh, it's... I favorited it. So it's not on the list. It's on its own list. That's it. Okay, crisis averted. I grabbed concrete. Good. Going down now to continue this build. So yeah, I was thinking of Subnautica as what will follow this. Where am I even going? Going down that ramp right there. As much as I complained about the state of Subnautica and its bugs, I have been meaning to make content of it, because I did a long time ago, before it officially released, have content of it that I have since removed. Made private, excuse me, I should be very specific there. I privated it. how much? How wide are you? $18, apparently. I likely could delete some of the stuff on the end. I need to know how much total this makes. Oh. It goes 60 down to 40. This went from 30 to 40. So, 60 over 40, that's a factor of 1.5. Or 2/3 of the output. So whatever 200 is... Well, I guess we could divide by 16 times 40. 133.33. 133.33. That is how much fluid needs to be destroyed in the fuel generator. The fuel generator. Oh god, this machine. This machine is... could you please center in any way, shape, or form? That's one tile there. That is not one tile there. That is as close as we're gonna get to a centering. Oh my god, that's 50 rubber. I can only make 2 of these? I can only make 1 of these because it's heavy modular frames, and I don't have heavy modular frames. Okay, sure. Sure. You? There. 375 megawatts. Satisfactory fuel values. That is not what I want. Fuel. Why do you not tell me? It doesn't tell me. The actual fuel value of fuel on the wiki page for fuel. It doesn't actually tell me the fuel value of fuel on the wiki page for fuel. Thanks. The fuel value of fuel is 600 megajoules. 600 megajoules is the fuel value per unit fuel. Okay? 600 megajoules. We will make 133 1/3 units per minute. Per minute of fuel. So we have to divide that 600 by 60. Really, to get the amount per minute, like the megajoules per minute, as a reference to time, like how many megawatts. Megawatts is a per second time scale. So this is the this is one of the problems with how they display the information here. It's like, this can do 375 megawatts. A megawatt is a joule per second, not a joule per minute. So, and all the other calculations in this game are done per minute, not per second. Which is like, why? Why is everything in per minute, and yet you display your values in megawatts, which is a value that is a unit of energy per second, not per minute? Like, again, with the weirdness, all these little things of weirdness that just add up to being a not that great experience. So 133.3 units per minute. If we multiply that by the 600 megajoules per unit, that's just under 80,000 megajoules per minute. And you have to divide by 60. Yes, they could absolutely use some Factorio devs on the team to make it better in terms of mechanics. They need more people skilled at doing game mechanic work and actual development work, rather than all these people who have focused on artistic design, not really as much video game mechanics design. They need more mechanics people, not arts people in here. I don't even know if I'm doing this math right. 133.3 repeating. Divide that by 60. That's a much better thing, and then multiply that by 600. So we're looking at 1,333 and a third megawatts. Seriously? That is a lot. That's a gigawatt. That's over a gigawatt. That's so much that I would need 4 of these things with the power shards in all of them. Or I would need 10 of them. It's like, or I need 10. I might actually do 10 of these. Spacing is the only problem. Unless I do it like this on the spacing and have doubled up row of 5. I think I might do that, actually. I do, however, need to get some reinforced frames, or some heavy frames, or whatever the heck you want to call it. Yeah, the other thing is they hide the fuel values. They don't actually display the fuel value of a lot of stuff in this game. You have to guess based off of usage. It's like, because they tell you how much time a fuel will last in a machine, and they tell you the rate at which the machine is using the stuff, how many megawatts of energy a power-producing building is making. I am dumb. Get into this hypertube. It's like, enter the hypertube, please. I'm just autopiloting. I've walked back and forth so many times now that it's second nature. So yeah, this is like my thoughts after playing this game for however long, 22 hours apparently, over the past 2 weeks, 86 total hours on this game. It feels particularly tedious. Those 86 hours, like, never, ever, ever calculate hours of time by amount paid. Never, ever do that to base the value of a game for your money. Never take that as the exclusive indicator for how valuable a game is. Always consider how much of that time is actually an enjoyable experience. Because the last thing you want to do is pay for a game that's going to give you 50 hours of crap experience. No one enjoys that. No one enjoys having to walk out of a movie theater because the movie is that bad, right? Please consider the quality of the entertainment that you are paying for versus the amount of time that you're playing. Factorio offers a lot of very enjoyable experience over its time and makes it a very valuable game to spend money on. This has moments of enjoyment, but overall, there's so much time spent doing tedious work in the placement of belt in particular, as well as trying to get buildings in exact positions, that it's just not an overall enjoyable experience to me. Not in its current state. That 86 hours, most of it is crap. Most of it. I was here for the reinforced frames, which are being made over here. You know, that manufacturer building that has all these frames going into it. And it's all because they haven't done enough work on the actual mechanics of this game. They've put so much effort into making things look nice and not much into the actual mechanics. Like, they can say that they're in early access all they want. That doesn't stop me from not enjoying the game for its current state. And it's always the initial experience that you are going to base your future experiences on, whether or not you're going to have a future experience. That's another problem actually with Factorio, is that if the first impression that you get when you start up a new game is that it's slow and boring, that's going to be the impression that you have to assume that the rest of the game is going to be like. So I fully understand why people stop playing and request refunds for games after the first 20 minutes to an hour, less than an hour of gameplay, because they can't make it through the slow point of the game, which is one of Factorio's biggest problems, is that it has a burner phase that exists that is boring. And it's right at the start of the game, and it immediately puts all new players off of the game. Because it's boring. And yet the developers insist that that's their intent. They can have bad intent. Like, not... I should word that better. They can have an intent that happens to not also be enjoyable by people playing. As in a poor experience that is intended. Them there where they are factually wrong on their design choices. Where they've simply made a poor decision and yet have stuck by it. This game here, that's Satisfactory. I have to say that the initial start to the game in Satisfactory, when you start up a fresh game, it is a better overall starting experience than in Factorio's starting experience. It is okay in this game. The starting off point is actually okay in this game. It's the way in which this game scales that brings about a lot of elements that are tedious and boring, that really brings to the fore a lot of the elements of this game that still need a lot of attention to bring them up to speed, because they are not in a good state right now. The entire mechanic with the green grid lines to give you snapping, there's a lot of buildings and a lot of entities that just don't work with that system, or the system has not been updated to function with that system in mind. The buildings honestly should not have even been released to the public without that functionality included. I don't know why that decision was made to have them exist without that functionality. I apparently needed to pick up more motors, but whatever. And rubber. But I have rubber here that I can grab, because I need a lot of these. Or maybe we can just start with the 2 with the power cores in them and go from there. We can scale it up as we need additional energy. That's going to be an extra 600 megawatts consistently. Yeah, I will take that. Do I have enough copper? That's a great question. That is a really good point. Okay. The piping. The piping. I usually have this on an elevated level here on a stackable pipeline. What we're going to do is we're going to do stackable pipeline. We're going to put this one about there, and we're going to put this one all the way down here. We're going to push 0. We're going to set the build mode to, we can keep it vertical for now. We're going to connect these, and then we get to play the game of aligning pipeline junction crosses without any grid line snapping whatsoever. Alright, see ya on the next one. I will be streaming Factorio tomorrow, the Angels Bob's Space Extension playthrough. I would like to keep this time slot as a variety type stream, something other than Factorio, but after giving thought to the vanilla playthrough that I just had, I may want to give a real try on the there is no spoon achievement, because with pollution off, with high availability of resources within the starting area, with a large starting area, it should be, and with the biter expansion turned off, with evolution turned off, it is absolutely trivial. It is absolutely trivial to complete the game. To complete Factorio within the 8-hour limit. As much as I didn't do so. Really? Huh. As much as I didn't do so in this playthrough, it was mostly a factor of I was too afraid of pollution and biters. Excuse me, but no. Not there. Shouldn't have played with pollution. Shouldn't have done it, but did it anyway. And paid the price for it. I wish there was T intersections, by the way. I wish there was T intersections, not these. You not there. I want you. There. That way I can have some supports here. And all the way out that way. Looks like I will not be able to fit these on this side if I keep those there. But that's okay. Yeah, T-junctions would be very much appreciated. You know, that automatically centers that thing. So, I'm gonna keep it. I don't have to delete any of that. Yeah, for whatever reason, Conveyor 2D is the one that actually lets me do the right angles. That's those. You are supposed to be at 50% across the board. Yes. Yes, you are. Now to do the exact same thing. This time, also including a belt output. Oh joy, we are working our way backwards. The joys of building belt. The joys of building belt. And routing belt up and all that good stuff to get it awesome sunk. With pipes. With pipes. This aligns perfectly, meaning that if I have stackable pipeline right dead smack in the middle, Oh, please tell me I have enough length. No! I was off by 2 tiles total. You there. And you there. Now we get to continue to have cross-junction fun. Why this doesn't have a snapping mechanic, I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't have it. So there's nothing I can really do. We're actually going to make use of the full cross junction on a lot of these. It's crazy, right? We're actually going to use the cross junction as a cross junction. Except for the last couple here that don't actually have a building across from them. Right here and right here. I'm not going to have enough copper sheets either. So, vertical build. Part of me thinks I should have made this a little taller on the pipeline, but then you have to worry about lift head and all that. The actual fluid mechanics are pretty easy to understand. The only real mechanic with the fluids is that there's a concept of vertical lift in the form of lift head, so you need to add pumps as you need more verticality for the fluid to go up. That's all you have to worry about, and it uses some power to do so. It's what makes fluids a little bit harder to deal with, ultimately. The power of magic with one whole pipeline support in the entire line, holding up the entire line. But you know, I think I can believe something like this existing. Maybe not down this way, but something like this existing with a walkway underneath it without any additional supports. I think the geometry works. It's like a rib cage. Looks like a rib cage to me. I think that geometry works out. It checks out. The issue is I have to do the exact same thing on this side, and I don't have enough stuff. I think. I might. Hold up. I might have enough sheets. That uses the most. Oh, this uses 5 each? Oh, well then I don't. Because I need a lot of these. That's a shame. Aw. I put you in a pretty bad spot. Or maybe I do. Maybe I have enough. Again, the tedium. The absolute tedium of doing this. To try and make it at least look decent. Is a royal pain. So there's 10 of these. If he chooses 2, then I'm left with 1, which is not enough because I also need to connect this pipe to here. I will be 1. Oh, no, there's enough. You there. I was left with 1. Wow, I had 1 copper sheet remaining. 1 whole sheet remaining. It's glorious, magnificent, and beautiful. The stuff doesn't have... It has 0.1. It has 0. Why? Have I not... Oh. This extra lift, I think, has put it over the edge. Yeah. So the extra lift here has put it over the edge on the head lift. So it's now going too vertical to handle properly, meaning I need to add a pump, which needs 1 more copper sheet. Which needs 1 more copper sheet. Now, the way that the pipeline pump works, actually, is that it resets the head lift to 20 meters from wherever it is placed. So whatever the value is, it just resets it. And I'm trying to remember, I do make copper sheets. I do make copper sheets in the build up here. So I should be able to have them. They should be in the buildings. Processing copper. Here. There's my copper sheets. Down we go. Okay. Pipeline pump. And now we'll be able to see, we will see that the fluid will fill up in all of these buildings. It will flow. It says it's flowing at 300. It's not producing 300, it's producing 150, so it should begin to flow faster. As it's being made. So this thing is pushing at 0.8, 0.9. Max is 20. It can do a little bit more than 20 though. But I absolutely needed this guy. But did I need him here or did I need him lower? If I needed him lower, there's no way of placing one there because it's too close. I am not getting the proper flow rate, so this guy sadly is in the wrong spot. Doing that there, deleting that pump. Excuse me. Pump. Stop. What? Sure. Flowing. Head lift 12.3, 12.4, so it is greater than 10. This thing has a head lift of 10, and it did need to be lower. That's better. So this should end up being 150 in the end over time. Yep, checks out. That checks out. It needed to be a little lower. Had to redo that pipe a bit. Now this is flowing. This stuff will get fluid in once it's powered, I guess. You can't input stuff without power. But there is always one more thing. There is always one more thing. We need mergers. We need mergers, and we need stuff to go this way. Is that line lined up with the output port? Yes, it is. Thank goodness. Another problem with these grid lines is sometimes it's a little difficult to tell the difference between what's a grid line to the port and what's a grid line to the things. To the middle of the machine. That's what I'm trying to say. Because there's a grid line to the output port, and there's a grid line to the middle of the machine, and I need the one that's going to the output port, not the one to the middle of the machine. Alright, you go there, you go there, you go there. You go there, you go there. Good luck walking in the middle of this anymore. Oh boy. This doesn't need a merger, but I'm using it anyway. So all of this stuff is a polymer that could be used to make plastic or rubber, but I'm just going to void it because I have no use for it right now, and I don't want to depend upon a byproduct of this stuff, this resin. This resin is bound for a journey upwards. And into there, so I want a wall, conveyor wall, ideally placed right there. but game says, nah. Nah, buddy, you're not getting that wall where you want that wall. Alrighty then. So it's all the way over there. Yup. Yup. Up we go. Now to get a belt outputting from that conveyor belt port so that I have an alignment, or so that I have the ability to snap the lift and have the lift go in the correct direction. This goes into the voiding over here. Please stop. Dang it. Okay, so now I can click there and come down. Not this far. So now I can come down and have the lift pointed, I guess, there. That away. And that will have the belt line coming out. One, two. And traveling in the correct direction. It needs to go to here. 1, 2. Ah, good. Good. It does go up a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine. I can't bring that any lower. That will be the resin stuff taken care of, which means I can now turn it all on. Right? We can turn on. Give me power grid. So this is connected to the power grid now. It is not producing power, but it is able to produce power once it has it. The first thing I want to do is go here and get these 3 behemoths. These 4, 5, 6 behemoths. Their power, the power that they're due. And then all the way down here, these 2. Then just double check. That shouldn't use any power yet. Yet, he says. Yet. Then all the... Oh god, I got launched. I got launched. Okay, over here. Mark 2. You're gonna hook up to this one. And this one. And this one, yes, you're clipping. I've stopped caring. Further down the line. And that should be all of them operating. They all have crude oil in. There's the resin going up to get voided. It better be getting voided. It had darn well better be getting voided. Yes, it is. Hello, voiding machine. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. And this will mean additional access to power. You are producing fuel now in these buildings. Note that these are 9.9 megawatts operating at half clock speed. These buildings are normally 30 megawatts at full power. I think they're 30 anyway. They are 30 megawatts at full power, but they go down to just under 10 at half clock speed. They cut it down to a third. We've got power by fuel. It's raised our cap a bit. A bit. 600 more megawatts of buffer space. At the cost of a lot, granted. That did cost a lot. The overall power draw will go down as these fill up with fuel. These will fill up entirely their internal buffer with fuel. The pipe will fill with fuel, and then, of course, the machines will stop operating when they don't have when the output pipes are full and their internal output fluid box, quote unquote, has been filled. I don't know what the stack size is on the internal fluid buffer on these machines. It could be as high as 100 units or more. Or more. Interesting. So I'm actually using a really big amount of this. I mean, I am using more than half of my total capacity. So yeah, it will be interesting to see where this caps, and then all of the fuel needs to be provided, and then also heavy oil residue needs to fill all of these machines. Granted, I have an over consumption, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, so all three of these, it gets split evenly, so this is getting a lot more residue in it, because these two plus that one are combining and then splitting evenly down, and then the rest goes this way. Half of the output for these three goes down the line, and then halved again into here. Thus, we'll find out pretty quickly what the total buffer size is. And of course, if I had the rubber, which I can go and grab now, we can grab some rubber while we're at it. Oh, come on. Build another one of these buildings, even though it won't give me 300. It'll give me 150 more megawatts. Let's see, rubber. 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 Rubber! Rubber. Thank you for the rubber. Up we go. I didn't take a break today. I'm just like realizing that I didn't actually take a break today. Cool. Great. Where am I going again? This way? And down. This way. This way. And down this ramp. And down here. Oof. Hello, fuel generators. Yeah, let's just have 3 more, for whatever reason. I need a support beam out here. I don't know if I have the length for that. Nope. Too long. Give me the... Come on, logistics. Logistics! I need to logisticize. I need a thingy there. I need a thingy there. I need that moved, actually. I should have kept that out there so that when I deleted this and this, that I could do that and that and delete and delete and pipe and pipe and pipe. And they need power pole connections. Let's go ahead and put that there. 1, 2, and 3. Make that a Mark II pole. And now we have even more power. So that is... With those 3, another 450. So we just added 1.1 gigawatt to the base by doing this, because we have 2 at 300 and then 3 at 150. 2 at 300 each, so that's 600 plus 450. Oh boy. And the amount of production we have should be enough to actually do 1.33 gigawatts, 1.3 repeating gigawatts of fuel production up to. So we should always have enough fuel for this. I really wish that that there was a way of doing power use prioritization. I would like to use this always. I would rather have this maxed and reduce the amount of coal consumption or something. I would like priorities, man, priorities. This is not based off of a byproduct usage, though. This is a dedicated fuel. So there's that. Dedication! Using our alternate recipe for heavy oil residue and polymer resin, we are now producing an extra gigawatt, which means I may now safely add back the cable to power the adaptive control unit build. Might I add that this process between doing this as well as the Hyperloop over the course of this stream today has taken 2 hours and 50 minutes. Like, do you understand now some of my issues with this game? I hope you understand now some of my issues with this game. We spent a really long time building things with this game's building mechanics, and I don't particularly enjoy them all that much. That's what I was expecting to happen. We went from like 16, 17 up to 2.1. Yeah. That was more than what we had at the start of this. We went up to 2.1. That is way more than what I had available to me. I think I had 1.9 or 1.8 total available power before adding these fuel generators. So the problem with these fuel generators now, though, is that I have an entire oil derrick being used to make power instead of being used to make plastic and rubber. Yes, this process gives me resin, polymer resin, that can be used to make plastic and rubber. But the mechanics of this game do not allow me to fully utilize the power that I am producing out of these fuel generators over other sources of power. So the machines are never going to operate at peak draw, at their peak performance, so the amount of polymer resin is going to fluctuate and never actually be a set value I can count on always having. Which is not a good idea. Whenever this happens in Factorio, I always say, I don't deal with that shenaniganry because I need a stable value of stuff that I can count on so that I know I always have a specific amount of stuff being produced with it. So if I can't count on the polymers coming out being stable, then I won't be able to count on any of the plastic or the rubber coming out being a stable value either. And therein lies the problem, the biggest problem. So, for reference, we have yet to make a single adaptive control unit in the entire base. This process here is going to make the first 2, because this is 2 every 2 minutes. It needs voiding, yes. Those polymers need to be voiding. But if I could tell the game to 100% utilize the fuel generators, then I would absolutely be able to count on the output. I could place enough generators to fully utilize the amount of fuel that's being produced. And if I can count on it fully utilizing the fuel that's being produced, then I can count on that specific value always happening on the polymer resin and actually do my math and use this stuff for other things. But because I can't do that, into the ether it goes. We have now made our first 2 adaptive control units. We need 100 for the space elevator, meaning it will take at least 100 minutes, because this is 1 per minute, to produce enough of these things. And that is how my power situation is looking. And I have to make 2 more things at scale to complete this phase of the space elevator processing stuff. And then the next phase of the game introduces aluminium refining from bauxite, as well as nuclear as an option through nuclear fuel refining from uranium to get nuclear power, as its 2 major things, as well as new ways to get lots of other things and more complex stuff to make. Great. Fantastic. Am I keen on any of that? I am interested in what the process is to refine aluminium from its base material. I would actually have to find the resource nodes for it, because there's none in the desert biome, period. There's no aluminium sources in the desert biome. You have to actually go to other places to get them. There's also only 3 uranium patches on the entire map to mine. So there's that too. And there's a whole bunch of MAM techs that I haven't done at this point that will give me useful stuff. We need to do them climb and jump and hop over and hop into the thing. So we're done there, ish. We need rubber for the other doohickey. We have excess oil. We do have excess oil, at least, and there's another area that has oil somewhat close by if I was to continue this. But I'm not going to continue this. I don't really see a point. I don't really see a point. I see how long it takes to build things in this game, and it's really not that friendly for streaming, to be completely honest. I can personally overcome in my mind a lot of the weaknesses of this game on my own time, where if I have the time to play this game over a long period, but it's really hard to sit here and to talk while doing as tedious of stuff as placing belt. Last stream was awful. Last stream was pretty hell for me. I don't know if you noticed, but if you watched my last stream, where I spent 3 hours placing belt for the adaptive control unit build, you will realize just how much of a terrible time I have with this. How much I dislike the process of building belts in this game, which is the entire point of this game. It's like your most basic mechanic, the one thing that you're going to be doing over and over and over and over again, is tedious and boring. Like, come on. It shouldn't be as hard as it is to place belt. It shouldn't be as hard as it is to physically place belt, let alone, yes, you should be able to automate everything. You should be able to automate the placement of belt and buildings. It should all be automatable. I should be able to automate the production of my base. I should have the ability to make blueprints and use blueprints. I should be able to copy and paste by default as a feature in the game. And none of that is in the game right now. And it makes it a tedious, boring experience to actually play the game. Can you do good, beautiful builds in this game? Yes. You can absolutely make great, beautiful builds in this game. It just takes forever to do it without help in the form of mods. It just takes forever to do stuff in this game, to make things look organized. To make it look organized, to make it look pretty. Without doing lots of area actions mod stuff and smart mod stuff. The only way I was able to get this far in this game on stream thus far was through the power of the smart mod. That was the very first one I added, and it is the last thing I will ever remove. I am never going to play this game without smart mod. That is number one top most important mod for anyone to use in this game is the smart mod. Hands down, without question. In the current state of this game, it is a necessary tool to have to make building bearable. But we need a smart mod for belt. Seriously, we need something to improve the belt building experience. There might be a mod that does that. I need to look it up. It needs to happen. There needs to be some method of improving the way that belts are built at scale. 'Cause oh my god, it sucks. It sucks so hard. Anyway, here at the end of this stream, what will be my last stream of Satisfactory for quite a while, I think. I'm going to give it a long time. Maybe when there's an actual release of this game as a game with an end state to actually make it a game, we will play this again. When it actually has an end state to make it an actual game, we will play it. So over here we've got reinforced or heavy modular frames as well as computers being made in these gigantic, way too large of manufactories, as well as some circuit boards for those computers and lots of screws and such. Over here we've got lots of outside inputs coming in. We've got steel production over here with the encased beams as well as rotors and motors. Or is it just motors? It's motors! It's motors over here. The motor build. And steel pipe and encased beams and steel beams and all that good stuff. And I have never had the... What's the word I'm looking for? I have never felt it was necessary to go out to explore this map, either. I have never felt like I needed to explore outside of I want alternate recipes in hard drives. Like, outside of I must get hard drives I really haven't felt that much of a desire to go around the map to try and find resources, especially because I started here in the desert and there's all of the resources ever here in the desert. What, this stick? The candy cane basher? Oh yeah, and then there's the whole thing about Fixmas. I have a major problem with how they're doing the Fixmas stuff. It's like they give you all this wonderful decorative stuff just to take it away from you as of the 18th. Like, what? Excuse me? Why are you removing a feature of the game? All of this over here is frames. Two different ways of doing frames through two different recipes. Up there is mostly copper stuff. Over there is early game stuff, how we progressed from really early things that were like making smart plates and stuff and all that to end up here with copper and quick wire and voiding of AI limiters. This entire time I've been making AI limiters and it's been voided. And then there's Fixmas, which I enjoyed this event greatly. I really did. But why the hell does it take 500 toppers for the last tech when a building making toppers is only making 1/2 of one per minute? And it requires all of this infrastructure. It requires technically 2.5 of these assemblers worth of decorations. 2.5. Which each of the ones making decorations is 3 more assemblers making the ornament bundles, as well as tree branches, and then a whole bunch of smelters smelting to make the individual ornaments on the back end. Yes, the platforms are floating in the air with zero support whatsoever. The platforms just exist in the air without any support. There is no gravity for buildings in this game. There's gravity for you as a character entity, but there is no gravity for building of buildings. That is something that you have to place yourself as a decorative that you have to unlock through those little tickets that you get for voiding stuff. You can get pillars pieces by unlocking it in the Awesome Shop. And then you can place pillars as decoratives if you want. And consider that you have to place each and every unit without mods. Each and every individual foundation needs to be placed manually, as well as each and every single wall. When you unlock walls, needs to get placed manually. And they're only 4 meters tall, so you need to place a bunch of them, and they apparently change rotation on you. So yeah, lots of very interesting design decisions in this game that aren't really that great. I absolutely advocate for the need to have support structures of some sort in building this game. I think it would be an interesting balance change that would definitely fundamentally change the way that people build their bases. Just by making it so that you need a support structure to have an upper level of stuff to build levels. We don't have to worry about things like weight distribution or anything like that. Just ignore weight as a mechanic. Just make it so that you need a support structure for every certain number of tiles built around the support structure, and that would fundamentally change the way that people have to build bases, because then you have to account for the spacing between pillars in building buildings. And it'll make it so that things that are huge, like manufacturers, wouldn't it be interesting if you weren't able to place them in the middle of a floor without having a hole above? Because you can't have the support structures supporting the floor above, and you have to build around that as a concept. Oh my, like, wow, interesting dynamics in building, all because you now need to have support structures to build vertically. But there are so many other things. There are so many other things about this game outside of the magic floating platforms that need to be addressed. Please, the magic floating platforms thing is definitely just one of those visual things that is something that can be put off for a long time. That when there's so many other fundamental fixes that need to be made to the grid system and mechanics and the tedium of building, that really need to be addressed sooner rather than later. And, you know, actually finishing the game and having an end state in the game, that's far more important than magical floating platforms needing to have foundations. It's far more important. And yeah, it does take a really long time before you can actually automate power from coal. That, I agree, that takes a while. There's a little reprieve once you can make the solid fuel stuff, because it lasts longer, but still, getting out of the burner stuff and into automated fuel it does take a little long. It's not something open-ended like Factorio. Well, consider that Factorio, you still have an end state. Even though it is open-ended, you still have a win screen for beating the game by launching a rocket. You can still win in Factorio despite it being really open-ended. Satisfactory does not have a win screen, period. It does not have a, you launched a rocket. It does not have a rocket to launch. We have an Ollie. Hello. Hello, my Ollie. Yes, you squirm. You squirm, you don't want to say hi for all that much. And because there is no I win screen, or I won screen, there isn't that much push for me to get to all of the end game content. Why should I continue to go through the tedium of building manually into the end phase of the game when there's no goal to doing so outside of, oh hey, let's destroy everything and get enough of these magical tickets to unlock a literal golden nut statue for 1,000 tickets. A statue of a nut. The golden nut. That's like the only thing that counts as the end game right now, is unlocking these stupid statues. That's it. That's all. And you can buy infinite amounts of these statues, so it's like, what? and get infinite amounts of tickets. People, their bases are measured in this game by the amount of tickets they produce. Actually, that's not true because the amount of points you need to get tickets increases as you go, but it can be measured in terms of points for voiding, in terms of awesome points. Yeah, and you get it by literally destroying all the stuff that you spent so much time and effort into making in the first place. Yeah, why make it if all you're doing is literally destroying it? Literally crushing it to smithereens. Why spend all that time and effort making the stuff if all you're going to do is just destroy it? Why would I make supercomputers and all these wonderful advanced things? They're going to be adding like quantum computers, by the way. If the whole point at the very end of the game is to get more points in this awesome sink, which literally grinds it to smithereens. The more complex of thing that you throw into this machine, the more points it gives you. The more complex the thing that you throw into this machine, the more points it gives you towards getting a new thing, and each ticket costs more than the last ticket. That being said, what this game has going for it is that resource nodes provide infinite resources. That is great. Fantastic. Resource nodes provide infinite resources, and the way that you get more resources out of a resource node is by increasing your tech to get better mining drills, as well as better belts, as well as the power shards for them. Resources are infinite. Voiding is infinite. It cycles. Yes, heaviest facepalm you've ever done. Yeah. The whole point right now, the current state of this game is you're literally making stuff to destroy stuff to get magical points to unlock vanity items. With the current set of systems in this game, it's like, ugh. So, with it being 15 minutes past the usual end time for the stream, a fitting way to end this series, to have an extended stream here. What did we do today? Well, we made a hypertube. we made a hypertube. We set up power based off of oil into heavy residual oil into fuel to do fuel power burning. And by doing so, made it so that I could actually provide power to the adaptive control unit build, which we spent... So that adaptive control unit build, we spent an entire stream planning the adaptive control unit build. We spent an entire stream placing the buildings for the adaptive control unit build. And then we spent an entire stream placing the belt between all the buildings for the adaptive control unit build. And then today, we spent the entire stream, ish, getting enough power to power the adaptive control unit build. Each stream is 3 hours. That alone should tell you, for 1 per minute, yes, for 1 adaptive control unit per minute. 1 per minute. I can understand that amount of time if the production was, you know, significant. Yes, Ollie. I know you're here. Hi. Hello, Ollie. If the production was significant, yeah, it can take that amount of time. If you're building like a mega base, if it was 1 per second of a build, I can fully understand. But 1 per minute? 1 per minute? 1 per minute. And then you have to wait 100 minutes to get enough for this next phase of the space elevator. And apparently this isn't even operating at 100% efficiency for whatever reason. It's reporting 86. I don't know why it's reporting 86. It's got all the stuff to be 100. It is 100. It's going to increase and say 100 because that's enough stuff. Oh, it's the wiring? It's the wiring. There's something with the wiring. I don't know what's up with the wiring, but it's a little slow. Regardless, eventually, what's going to happen is that there will be a item needed for the next level of space elevator unlock that's going to use these as an ingredient. I already see it happening. This is going to be an ingredient for another thing later down the line. Meaning we have to set this up anyway as consistent production. And when it takes that long, there's a problem. There is an inherent problem with logistics in this game, and I can't get past it. I can't get past it. So, I suppose with that, folks, just look at all these lines of belt I built with a specific methodology to all of this. I built in the manifold method for all this, and it's like, oh god, it's so tedious. It's so tedious, and all the three-dimensional belt building. Like, isn't this beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? All these nice right angles and lifts and placement of lifts up over lifts like that. Isn't that so nice and great and stacked and neat and orderly and just all these wonderful things going all over the place? I built this by hand. It took 3 hours to do so, to make it look this way. It took 3 hours. And this is just the bottom level. There's a top level. There's a top level to this. There's a top level to this. This is just to get the raw resources to where they need to go. Lifted to the top level. That then has to get distributed down these lines through all of these layers and all the way over to various locations. I did not get that achievement in Factorio. I did not, and I've apparently made 26 of these already. Oh boy. I talked about that a little bit ago, actually. I fundamentally failed by having pollution on. I fundamentally failed by having pollution on. I was like 15-ish minutes over the line to launch the rocket. Part 14 will be the end of that. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long of the video. I just did one video until I hit the end, and I made a fundamental math error, for one, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because I just did not have the scale of production that I needed, in part due to not wanting to deal with having a pollution cloud activating biters, and therefore I never scaled my production of iron and copper in particular to a degree that would have allowed me to produce enough stuff fast enough to complete the game within the 8 hours. So if I do it again, of course, it would be very easy because I just not have pollution on and have the evolution factor off, the biter expansion off, and the start area size to as big as it can go, and it's trivial at that point pretty much. This was at least some degree of a challenge. Also, no solar panels, no logistic system, and no laser turrets, plus the one to beat the game within 15 hours as well. No time for chit chat. So I got 4 achievements on this run. Like, don't get me wrong, I got 4 achievements to launch the rocket in this playthrough. Yeah, I still got those 4 achievements for doing it. And that's now on Steam as well, so there was at least that. Anyway, this has been Satisfactory, I guess. Look at those these things. These are circuit boards. Hello, circuit boards. Interesting design for these circuit boards. So there is an overhaul mod for Satisfactory, which expands the number of resources as well as the number of things by a lot. The things that you can make by a lot. In the current state of the way in which the logistics work, I have 0 interest in trying that out anytime soon. I may work through this on my own time at my own pace to continue this to get into the next phase of everything. For now, though, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below this video. Hitting the like button, making comments, hitting subscribe, and notifications and all of that. Shenaniganry, hitting the join button to become an Erudite Otaku member of the channel, as well as joining my Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you're so inclined and able. I will be back with Factorio tomorrow, and I don't know, Friday. Probably Subnautica. I'm thinking Subnautica. Yet another game to make you seasick, literally, from motion sickness, but hey. That's more of a survival game that has building in it. But not like, it's not a production type management game. It is a survival first and foremost, and the things that you produce in that game are used to escape the planet, and it's very focused on exploration. So I have played through it once. I know how to beat the game, but I haven't done everything possible in the game or explored absolutely everything there is to explore, so it might be a nice time. It may be that, it may be something else on that day. I'm not 100% committed at this point in time, but we shall see as we go along. I will, of course, ideally see you all on the next